my mind is racing because I haven't been to bed in the last 2 days. How many people have ever been there? So I'm just kind of floating. But the key is training, and I really want to go into a training today, and I'm breaking it up into 2 different segments. Who's here for the first time? First time? Excellent. So what I want to do is I really want to go into a really strong basic training and a really strong leadership training. What time is it? I didn't go to sleep, let me watch.
10:55. 11.
11 in the morning. Yeah.
So for a first time, your first time, we'll have a conversation. So I want to take a 10-minute break because the key to this is what many people miss is the how-to. It's real easy to get people into the business. What they miss is the how to do the business. Does that make sense to everybody? And so what I want to see more than anything else, Arizona, this thing is about to be on fire one way or another, and I don't want anybody to miss the train. Is anybody with me on that story?
Yeah.
Because gas and electricity is coming. And I happen to know when, and I'm not going to tell you, but you will miss that train. And if you don't go to work, if you don't take advantage of what's in place, I'm telling you it's going to be a freight train like you've never seen before. I just came from Chicago, and one of my partners was there, and he just stood long enough to take advantage of the electricity. One of the most meeker guys you'll ever meet in your lifetime. Real quiet, introvert, doesn't talk to people that much. And but when I say he doesn't talk to people, he's not outgoing. But he talks to people, he goes, hey, are you ever making some money? Hey, I'm in this little business. He talks to a lot of people, he's just not aggressive with them. He came across one of his friends, and his friend said, just because of your integrity, I know you wouldn't do anything to manipulate me. I want to help you. So he actually said, I'm going to fax you over a couple bills. He faxed him over 50 bills. Whoa. 50 electricity bills for comment. And so he's actually talking about, this was just this past, what day was it? Tuesday. Past Tuesday. And he said, I just want to look at it. He said, I brought the box for Mr. Nelson, and I just want to show him how it works. And you know, he said, because everybody was raving about him getting all these bills. The guy opens up the box, looks at it. It's 50 bills for 50 apartment buildings that the guy already has. You will miss out. I mean, I'm telling you right now, if you don't go to work between now and the summer, your mother, your sister, your cousin, your best friend, everybody you think isn't going to get into business, they're going to get got. You sit up there playing around with the opportunity, it's going to be taken. And it doesn't matter whether you take this or not. I'm just here as the messenger. Is everybody following me on that so far? Because you got to understand, it's kind of like Steele and Carnegie, or if you will, Carnegie comes and says, we're about to come with and get off these buggies and horses, and we're going to have this little locomotive thing. And everybody's excited. But they're the ones paying for the train. And then there's this little, family that gets involved with this thing called Amtrak. And it's just the ones that are there first. You guys are here first. Why would you build a foundation for somebody to reap the rewards of your mouthpieces talking to people because of the lack of confidence and knowledge to be able to execute something and build a net? That's why it's called network. The one who has the biggest net, their money works for them. Does that make sense? Does anybody understand so far? Yeah. And so it's going to come like a thunderous storm because I've seen it happen. We're in 18 states. This year alone, we're going to go into at least another 10. And every time it comes, every state, because 18 are already done, it's going to come like a freight train. It's just going to hit it 10 times harder. Because everyone that's in New York, everyone that's in Chicago, everyone that's in Philadelphia, everyone that's in Michigan, everybody that's in Ohio, they already know. I've seen a person that didn't have success for 3 years now have a residual check off of just electricity, making over $3,000 a month, literally in less than about 3 to 4 month period of time because of electricity by itself. Couldn't acquire any other customer. But when you understand the gamut of what you have in your hands, it's vast. But see, it's much bigger than that because this business can bless you. And Jamila was sharing with you, it's like, you got to get past thinking small. Is anybody understanding this? Like, you guys follow this? Like, you really, you got to get past small thinking. I mean, we aren't supposed to talk about big money, but I didn't get into this for small money. I'm just If you go write a big check, I need to have a big check. That's just the way I think. Does everybody follow me on that so far? Small checks aren't going to get me off my job. I didn't get into this for a hobby. I don't have time for a hobby. I need time back. How many people understand that? How many people got children that need your time back? How many people want to change your address? How about your income bracket? Okay? People are like, well, I got good benefits. Well, if you're making $100,000 a month, how many people know you don't need benefits? Are y'all with this? You're already benefiting. here knows my father's class. It's you go through this sinkhole and then you rise. And one of my friends shared in the best way what happens when somebody passes. And he said it so succinctly, it was so definitive. He said it's like your whole life, if you're blessed enough to have good parents, it's like you're walking on a tightrope. And when your parents are alive, you have a net. And when one or two passes, the net's gone. Mm-hmm. And it becomes so surreal that now you better, but they were there to train you how to walk that tightrope. Is everybody following that so far? Yes. And you'll find that 90% of people that did not get raised properly go through a character building format that either they became something out of adversity, because you guys understand 60% of the greatest people have the greatest amount of adversity. I mean, the people that actually succeed had no help. It's funny how you'll see a child that has no help and the child that gets everything takes it for granted and doesn't emerge. It's amazing how A students never really do anything with their life, but the BC student who had to stay up for 4 days just to get through one chapter becomes extraordinary. See, it was never the information or the education that was retained. It was the work habit that was retained. See, my father taught me work ethic. I succeed because I don't care who comes into my business and who quits. Why? Because I sponsored one person I knew that would become flat out wealthy in this game. I filled out an application, looked in the mirror, and sponsored me. Everybody else. Because I was on the phone talking to Australia, talking to New York, and talking to different areas, and the woman's on the phone telling me, well, I don't have any support. I said, have you looked in the mirror lately? Because you can quit at any time. You do know it says independent representative at the top of the application. That means you independently get wealthy or you independently go broke. You choose powerfully. But you got to understand, at the moment that you actually have an expectation of somebody else, you will always be let down. And you might want to remember that. I have one expectation of myself. That's why I've never let down. Is everybody getting that conversation? You know, and what we're here to do is build an army of 5-star generals, not a whole bunch of foot soldiers waiting to go to the slaughter. So I'm going to bring truth to the conversation today because we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to make a lot of money, and I hope that I scare half of you out so that the other half can get rich. So we're going to take a 10-minute break, and then Byron Nelson's going to come back to the front.